What's going on, everybody? This is Ken Pozek, and tonight I'm here with Kristen Pavlik from the team, and we're going to go over so many things: real estate, theme parks, and living in Orlando. But before we get into our stories from today, we want to know down below, where are you guys watching from? I do this every week as we start off, and this is really more so to let people know, like, hey, people are watching from Europe. People are watching from LA.
So cool.
They're watching from Miami. They're watching from all over because Orlando's awesome. And so where are you guys checking in from? We got Chris checking in from Miami. Good to see you. What's going on from, it's Michael. You didn't say where you're from. Just hi from, and then just hi. Good to see you. We've got Holly watching from St. Louis, loving the Thursday night live time. I am as well. Sounds like you guys are too. So that's very cool. We got other people checking in from San Antonio. Good to see you, Jerry. Michael, there he goes, finishing out State College, PA. Good to talk to you. Good to talk to you. Hey, howdy, hey, from cloudy SoCal. I think it got cloudy.
Yeah.
And Saudi and sunny
SoCal. Winter Garden.
There's my girl. Marina does declutter my clutter. So if you are like a clutter kind of person, you've got stuff all over your house and you're like, I don't know what to do and how to make this look a little bit better. That's your girl right there. Oh. Jeremy's checking in from Conway. Chris and I just did a whole video around Conway.
We did.
It did so well. Grumpy checking in from Brentwood, North Carolina. All right, I think that's enough. So Kristen, I didn't properly introduce you, but thanks for joining me tonight.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here.
Yes.
Hi.
So Kristen is an agent with our team. And so we do content together. We sell houses together. We're just like one big happy family.
KP squared.
That's a KP squared. That's very true. All right. So as we're getting in here, make sure you guys are asking your questions down below. We'll be monitoring as people are rolling in. Make sure you let us know where you're watching from. But if you have questions about Orlando, moving here, stuff you've seen while you're out and about, any of that kind of stuff, just let us know. But first story is first. Kristen.
Yes.
You ran a marathon this weekend.
I did. I ran the Disney Marathon.
And that's a big deal. 26.2 miles.
Yeah.
How did that go?
It was so intense. It was my first ever marathon. And I'm so glad that Disney was the one that I chose to do for my first one, because they have so much stuff to distract you from the misery of 26.2 miles, characters, music, and it was 90s themed. It was such a throwback. It was so fun.
I was supposed to run it, and I just was like, you're out there training. I'm watching you on your Instagram stories, and you're out
16 weeks.
And I'm like, I didn't have the time. I had the time. I just didn't have the commitment. You crushed it.
So what I did was I brought my medal just to rub it in your face just a little bit.
Shut up. I got to see this. All right. So, and these are it spins too. That's so stinking cool.
They're so cool.
So for those of you listening back on the podcast, Disney's marathon weekend was this past weekend. It was retro themed. It looked really, really cool. But one of the things we want to talk about in terms of stories this week, because I thought this was remarkable. Talk to us about your boy here, Rudy Smith.
Oh my gosh. So there are 59 people who have done what's called a perfect Disney marathon, meaning that 30 years ago, because this was an anniversary year for the marathon, they ran the first ever Disney marathon, and they've run every single one since then. And Rudy Smith is one of those people, and he's 80 years old.
That's crazy. 80 years old.
Amazing.
Look at this guy. Watch. I mean, so this story by ABC 13. So this guy, they did a whole background. And what a cool story career. But 80 years old, I hope to be walking at 80, let alone running marathons.
Look, I'm definitely not 80, but he was so much better than I could ever dream to be already. So it's amazing, just mind blowing.
So good. And what do you think about the whole like Run Disney experience? Do you feel like they do a pretty good job? I've run now for maybe a year and a half with them. I think I've done 6. What do you think? Is it getting better? Are they taking things away?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's such a community. I ran my first Run Disney event in 2017, and I, have just continued to sign up for the Disney races because there's nothing like it. There's an energy. People dress up in full costumes. I mean, there were people dressed as blockbuster movies running marathons. I mean, it's incredible. So there's nothing like it. I recommend anybody who hasn't and calls themselves like, I'm not a runner. It doesn't matter. Yeah. You can walk. It's so fun.
I had some friends of ours that did the dopey. And so if you guys don't know, there's the 5K, the 10K, half marathon, which is 13 miles. That's kind of usually my jam. And then they're full. And then if you do them all.
Yeah, consecutively. So back to back. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 2 a.m. every morning, you get the dopey challenge.
You are
dopey. You do it. So this was the 10-year anniversary of the Dopey Challenge, and it was so much fun.
I love it so very much. All right, so we have more people checking in. You got Linda checking in from Satellite Beach. Good to see you. ALJ, what's up? Appreciate you checking in. Annette, where are you at in the world today? I feel like you're always somewhere different every time you check in. Harry is checking in from Delaware. I appreciate you guys continuing to jump in, but let's keep going on the Disney bandwagon, because one of the things that we talked about on the thumbnail of what this whole live was going to be about was the fifth gate. Are you excited about this? What this potentially could mean?
You know, a lot of people will say, what does this potentially mean?
Okay, well, let's talk about it. So potentially, like, what is a gate? So a gate for Disney would be like Magic Kingdom. It would be Epcot, Animal Kingdom Studios. Yeah. And so people have talked forever around, like, what if there was like a fifth one, like a superheroes one, or maybe it's one that was only for villains,
right?
And you could have villains rides and all kind of stuff that they maybe don't have at Magic Kingdom. But over the past, I guess, year, 6 months, DeSantis and Disney have been going at each other around this whole special district situation. And so last night, this came from Touring Plans. Mr. Lee Testa kind of came out, was digging into what's going on over there. And so Reedy Creek, which is the special use district. Yeah, exactly, for Disney. And they get to kind of be their own little government. And so before DeSantis or the state of Florida step in and kind of start moving around what that all does, they said, hey, let's kind of finish out a couple other things that we've been thinking about before maybe this gets taken away from us, because once it gets approved and we start going down this roadmap, there's a likelihood that they won't have it taken away, the stuff that they've already approved. So what did we find out on their last meeting together? It was more hotel rooms, which we know Disney needs more hotel rooms.
Absolutely.
Every time, like our friends I've got some friends coming down from Canada, and they're working with some good friends of mine who are travel agents, and they're like, hey, we're coming down in a month or two. Can we stay at the Grand? Nope. Can we stay at the Poly? Nope. Like all of these really cool places that people would love to stay are booked. So more hotel rooms. I think that's great. 2 additional minor parks. Now, this could be like water parks. It could be like something else kind of small. I mean, I don't know. Have you been to the like Blizzard Beach or anything?
I have been to Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon, both of them. Yes. And I would say that they were great in their heyday, but they, they're smaller. They weren't designed for the amount or the capacity of people that want to go, especially in the summer when it's super, super hot. So I think we could use another water park if that's in the works.
I totally agree. And then they also have to compete with what Universal's doing. Their water park is next
Volcano
level.
Bay. Oh my gosh.
It's so nice. And their technology. Yeah, it's so good. But then last but not least, one more major theme park. And so he said they saved the best for last. As a reminder, before you get all hyped up and start planning the Lord of the Rings theme park, that's probably not going to happen with Disney, but this doesn't actually guarantee a 5th gate. But what it does allow them to do is set aside land for what could be a 5th gate down the road. And so it kind of lays the map out there. I think that with Epic Universe coming down over at Universal, now they're going to have 3 parks. Disney's going to want to take some market share. They want to
compete, right?
Yeah, they're going to want to take maybe they let them go a little bit, take some of the market share or some of the limelight for a while, but then they're like, hey, by the way, dink.
And that's so Disney.
Disney.
They would do that.
I feel like if I'm Disney, as soon as Epic is getting ready to announce, then you announce it.
Right.
Ours is coming next. Yeah, exactly. Just to take some eyeballs off of there.
Steal their thunder.
Exactly right. So let's keep talking. So Florida Governor Ron DeSantis moves to install control over Disney's land, not Disneyland, but Disney's.
Such an interesting title. Yeah. Disney's land.
Disney's land. Well done, Orlando Weekly. And so what's going on with this that we know about so far is essentially that, a few months ago, 6-7 months ago, DeSantis came in and said, hey, we're going to take away the special use district. And then he said, oh, just kidding. Like, maybe we won't. And then now they're coming back to start taking away things like getting rid of their nuke plant and start taking away some of that stuff to make it more run by the state, which I don't think the state's really going to want to do.
Yeah. There's so much that's involved with that. Right. And we need to wait and see what else is going to happen.
What else actually happens. And I do think people had mentioned like, oh, does this mean that all special districts in the entire state are going to go away? And that's actually not the case. The villages we talked about before the show, that's actually a special district. You've got actually, I think it's 150 of them across the entire state that have similar kind of things that Disney's carved out. In fact, Universal had actually just proposed creating a special district with the new Sunrail coming. And I think that's going to be a big deal.
So we'll find out.
This is true. All right, let's keep rolling out. What else is Disney talking about?
So let's talk about the good stuff.
The good stuff. Right? Yeah, let's transition to maybe some, instead of downer stuff, some good stuff. What's going on over Disney?
So Tron is coming. They're finally opening up on April 4th.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm waiting for that pass holder preview. That's what I am so excited for.
Me too. I am. Are you a roller coaster person?
I am absolutely a roller coaster person.
Gosh.
I can't wait. I know that it is the same roller coaster or conceptually as the Shanghai Disney ride, but I'm just so excited that it's going to be, it's done. You see it at Magic Kingdom. Let us on it. Come on, Disney.
What else? So there's Tron, and then there was the show. There's a couple things changing on the shows.
Yeah. So Happily Ever After is back on April 3rd. And the same day, actually, Epcot Forever comes back. And so those Harmonious is over. So those barges that everybody seemed to hate are finally coming down. I personally loved Harmonious.
You love the barges?
I didn't love the barges, but I loved what they did, right?
Yeah.
So during the day, not so cute. Great effects at night. But yeah, so that's all going, and we're getting Epcot Forever back. So a lot of exciting things.
It is exciting. King Jose says Happily Ever After is back. My man is excited.
I love that. I am excited too. I will be there.
Let's see.
Oh, wait. We also forgot to talk about the annual passes.
Oh, yeah. This is a big one, actually.
Yeah. So they're actually lightening up on the reservation system for annual pass holders. So after 2:00, you don't need to have a reservation, except for on weekends for Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. And so it's almost like the Pixie Pass almost is kind of what it feels like, because that was Monday through Friday. It's kind of, and you couldn't park hop until, so it's like, hey, now this is for everybody, if you don't need a reservation. This is probably one of the major things when people are moving here, and we help people move here all the time. And it's like, we want to move to be close to the parks and then be able to utilize it.
Right.
And then so many people get frustrated because they can't use what they moved here to do.
Oh, I was frustrated. I've been an annual pass holder basically my whole life. And when I had to start planning my Disney trips, that's not something we do as Floridians.
No, you just drop in.
Go. So this is going to be great. We're all going to love this.
I'm so excited. All right. So we've got questions coming in. Make sure you continue to go on this. So Claudia says, even though Orlando is inland, I hear homeowners insurance and HOA fees are increasing fast. What have you heard?
Well, I know that homeowners insurance is high. I think we're the highest in the country, even.
Yeah,
we're very high. And there's a lot of things that go into that and why that is. But so that I do agree with, where we have some very high insurance costs.
Yeah. And I think part of it is, so I had a guy, Brian from State Farm, on a while ago, and he had mentioned something about like the roof fraud that was going on in the state. And basically there's not really any checks and balances with insurance companies having to pay out millions and millions and millions of dollars. And so if that's the case, then they're going to say, okay, fine. If you want us to stay, then you got to pay us.
Yeah. They have to be profitable.
They have to be profitable. They're not here just to like as a nonprofit organization. So unfortunately, we've seen our insurance, like with my own family, double.
Yeah. Well, I have a 100-year-old home in Orlando. And so
sure
I pay more for the insurance than anything else.
Yeah. But going back to Claudia, your question about HOA fees, I have not seen HOA fees increase crazy fast at all. I mean, there's usually a small incremental inflationary adjustment for homeowners associations, but there's no crazy jump typically that we see in a given year. Insurance is the major one.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to some stories. And again, let's see. Jeremy says, what are they going to do with those barges? I don't know. That's a great question. Hopefully send them to some ocean.
Warehouse somewhere.
Christmas Carol. What's going on Christmas Carol and Dumbo AP magnets. Have you gotten your magnet yet?
I don't have my magnets yet.
They just released it. This new one. Yeah, this Dumbo one. I got to go get it.
I have to check my mail.
All right, let's go back over to our stories. Last thing about Disney, and then we're going to get into some more Orlando-based stuff. But there's a new festival that launches tomorrow.
Yeah, farts.
The Festival of the Arts. And actually, this has become my favorite.
It's a good festival.
It's kind of like wine and dine farts. And then I don't know, what was the holidays one?
Yes. Well, okay. There's one thing that I have to point out about Festival of the Arts that's really exciting is they're doing a Disney on Broadway concert series, and they're going to have, yeah.
That's awesome.
I know.
Where are they doing this?
It's in Epcot. I think it's at the pavilion inside of the US area.
Oh yeah, okay.
I'm blanking on the name of it.
Yeah, where they do like the holiday.
Where they do, candlelight and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's gonna have music from Tarzan, Aladdin, Frozen, The Lion King. I'm so excited about that.
So cool. There's one of my favorite artists. He does really cool posters. Eric Tan announced he put on his Instagram this Hollywood Studios poster. I'm gonna go tomorrow and get it because I'm like they usually sell out. Like the good ones, they're like 100 or 200, maybe they do. They're not even that expensive, but people will buy them and then put them up on eBay for like 10 times the cost.
I can't stand those people.
No, yeah, I know. Disney's trying to get rid of some of that stuff, but
we had a big issue with that going back to the Run Disney races with the race merchandise. For
people were hawking the race merchandise.
Yeah, they limited it to a certain amount of items per person, but it still didn't stop whole families coming in that were clearly not in the Run Disney event and just buying tons of merchandise, and then literally same day on eBay 3 times the cost.
That's wild.
We hate them.
That's not good. That's not good. It makes it harder for everybody else. Leo says, I'm moving to Claremont this March. welcome. I'm excited for you.
Yay!
I got a quote for $2,000 annually for my home insurance, and my house is about 3,400 square feet. Is that expensive? That's about right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you would have said that a year ago, I was like, oh God, get a second or third opinion, which you always should do. But that's about right for a newer house in that area for sure.
I pay more than that for
So
a smaller house.
Well, you have 100-year-old house. That makes a little bit of sense.
So Leo, jump for joy.
Yeah. What's going on, Kevin from Lakeland? I appreciate you checking in. All right, let's keep going. We've got this is an interesting, maybe sad one, a little sad, but I think it's also something to be talked about because this is another thing that I hear a lot of. There's people moving here from all over the world, and maybe you don't have a family and or friend group already established. And so what do? So over on Reddit, which is honestly maybe one of the most toxic places in the world.
Reddit is so toxic.
It's so toxic. But it says, where and how does one person, people make friends in Orlando? And the person says, has anyone struggled to make friends in Orlando? I'm a late 20s female, and I find it difficult to make friends. Where do people go? So Kristen, if people want to make friends in Orlando, where do they go?
So this is so hard for me to answer. Well, maybe not, because I'm a born and raised native. So my friends, I went to at elementary school, middle school, high school, college with them. So I just have friends in Orlando. But I will say all of my clients ask me like, what's a great place to meet people? And everywhere, really. I mean, go to the dog parks, go out to the local restaurants and bars.
Yeah.
Anytime that there is a local event happening nearby you, Facebook is a great place to meet, your neighborhood, area, what's going on in your area. So those are really, really good options. And then, come be friends with us. We're here.
For sure. I was telling Kristen earlier, I said, I feel like all of my clients become friends because then we do these client events and we're inviting people out, and then we kind of like be able to, it's fun to get to know.
It's so surreal.
On a personal level.
Yeah, I had some clients that I actually just ended up going to Disney with. And as I'm there, I had an out of body experience. I'm like, I met these people because I sold them a home, and now we're hanging out at a theme park.
So
what is
wild.
this?
It's where else in the world? I mean, like I came from Michigan and I was a realtor there. I didn't really hang out with my clients afterwards. I don't know if it's because so many people were just entrenched. They had their own friend group already. And it was like, hey, I'm moving within Detroit instead of from another state. But I do feel like people, I don't know, this is my opinion. Obviously the person on Reddit doesn't think so, but I feel like there's so many people that are moving here that don't know anybody else that we're all pretty friendly.
I agree. I think that most people that have, or at least have moved here within the past couple of years, are all trying to just find their friends, find their people.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, you're looking for your tribe. And so I think your advice is a great idea. And somebody else mentioned this as well. It's like if you're into cornhole or bar crawls, there's going to be someone else that's into that sort of same
or
thing
running
as well.
or volleyball or any of these things. There's groups of people. We have great weather, lots of outdoor activities and sports. So just go on Facebook, go on, your local neighborhood website and just find those people. They're out there.
Yeah, definitely. I think getting involved in local clubs and stuff, it's actually quite easy. Or just buy a house from us and we'll definitely be your friend.
We'll be your friend.
All right. We got a bunch of questions coming in here. So thank you guys so much. We're going to start answering some of these. So Eli says, I'm a supply chain logistic management college student. Are there any good employment opportunities in my field in Orlando? So supply chain logistics management, I would think sounds like Amazon, Walmart, some of these massive companies. And there's more industrial space getting bought up here and massive warehouses that are obviously need somebody to do it, right? To actually work there. So Eli, if I'm you, I would go for some of these larger companies that are building out their footprint here in Orlando. And I would definitely think that that'd be a slam dunk for you.
Absolutely.
Jeff says he's headed out here early next month to check on the construction of your new home in Webb Oasis. Hopefully the APR drops before I close. So what's going on with interest rates right now? Speaking of APR.
Yeah. Well, everybody's saying that they're going to be going down.
Yeah. I mean, so today the CPI report came out and there was inflation has actually dropped from 8-9% to where they're saying that adjusted for food and gas and some other stuff, it's like 5.7%, which is great for real estate because if the inflationary numbers are starting to come down, then interest rates will not continue to climb.
Right.
And so that's a great thing. I think that the Mortgage Broker Association, Mortgage Banker Association came out this week and said that we believe that by the end of January, that we'll be back under 6%. It depends on the mortgage type you're getting as well.
Right.
I was looking today at the 30-year FHA. You can get something like low fives, like 5.25. So I think that that's going to become the trend for many, many other mortgage products. So,
but what happens when rates come down too low?
Then there's going to be a lot of demand and there's going to be people that jump back in the market to buy. And then all of a sudden seller concessions go away and all that kind of stuff.
There's no such thing as a perfect real estate market.
There's really not. There's really not. And unless you're looking in like in hindsight, right? Like it's I could pinpoint 6 years ago when I should have bought.
Oh my gosh, I should have bought my whole street 5 years ago.
So wild. All right. So gosh, so many good ones. So Victoria says, good evening from Sunbridge. Oh, I'm actually talking about you.
We should probably
actually
let's talk about Sunbridge. Right. Thanks, Victoria.
Yeah. So interested in learn how much does the value of to build an outdoor kitchen add to the house. So I think it's really hard to say in terms of, because there's levels of quality, right? I think outdoor space in Florida is massively important. Do you need to go drop $150,000 on a pool and kitchen? You're not going to get your money back.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
No. But are you going to improve the overall appeal when it's time to sell? Of course. And so I think you need to temper that. I'm always talking to clients when you're thinking upgrades, when you're thinking about what to invest in your house, is like, you want to do it because you love it and you're going to use it.
You're going to use it. Yeah.
And then will you get a little bit of money back? Sure. You absolutely will. But is it going to be 100%?
And it's neighborhood based too. You know, if you're the nicest house in the neighborhood, you're not going to get your money back.
Yeah, exactly. But if everybody else in your neighborhood has a pool and a pool
outdoor
cage
kitchen
and an outdoor kitchen, then you better be on par.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. But speaking of Sunbridge, I think let's actually bounce over there, because why not? So one of the things when you move to Sunbridge, it's in St. Cloud, right next to Lake Nona. And so it's tough because there's really no school in that area. But one of the things that they mentioned here, I was looking through the reports this week, there's a new, I gotta go on this side. There's a new K-8 school coming into Sunbridge. Let's talk about it.
Yay. They're building it this year, March 2023, and they're going to be completing it hopefully by the end of 2024.
Yeah, it looks like target completion is September 1st of 24. So school kids. So probably not going to be using it in the year. No, 24.
probably not. It'll be training and teachers and hiring. And
so I think that's great. So to have a school in the neighborhood is going to be massively important, because right now it's zoned for Harmony, which is quite a drive. And I think that's actually, for us,
it's needed.
It's needed. Absolutely. And so one other massive school that's going on in the area is Meridian Parks. Do you want to tell them about that?
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. So let's talk about the budget.
Yeah, the budget is a massive. I did a triple take. It wasn't like a double take. $120 million for the new high school relief school in Meridian Parks. And so this is actually going to be for 32832, which is essentially, Eagle Creek, which is, many people think, part of Lake Nona. It's technically not. It's like adjacent. But you've got Meridian Parks, which is a 4,000 home neighborhood that Madame's building out.
Yes.
And you've got a lot of other stuff going on there. But tell us what else about the...
So what's exciting about it that they've talked about so far is they're going to have an on-site football stadium. They're going to be doing sustainable buildings. They're going to be doing an auditorium, a gymnasium, science lab. So it's going to have about 3,240 students. And it's a huge project. And it's really going to relieve like the Lake Nona High School District and all of the surrounding areas.
And it's needed. Right now, the Lake Nona High School is over capacity. And we saw this over at Horizon West, where my family and I live. It's like, you had West Orange High, which was the only high school on that side of town for a while. And that got over capacity. Then they did Windermere, and everybody said, oh, now it's just going to be super easy because now we finally have 2 high schools. And then that got over capacity. Because
it's so fast. It happens so fast. Good. Keep moving here. We love you.
Yeah. But now, so Meridian, but this is a big deal for that area. I think for just people caring about schools in that area, that side of town. But yeah, massive school. And I think it's great. It's exciting.
Yeah. Very exciting.
They're like little college campuses.
They're nicer sometimes than college campuses. Yeah.
So crazy. Let's see. So there's a bunch of questions over here. Make sure you pay attention, because I always miss some of these guys. No, it's fine. Do I think Orlando will ever build high rises with $1 million units? Ooh, King Jose. So wildly enough, I shot a video today in downtown Orlando talking about the new JW Marriott. Have you heard about this?
I have heard about it. What are you doing in my side of the town?
I mean, you introduced me to it, so then I have to talk about it even more. So they downtown, I think, needs more residential.
Absolutely.
And so there's apartments as far as the eye can see, and not a lot to purchase.
There's not a lot to there's like 4 or 5 buildings really to purchase in, and they're saturated. Some of them are really old. There's just not a ton of options.
Yeah. And so the JW creating condos, I think they're actually Jose, I think they're going to actually be like $1 million units, because even if they're 1,500 square feet, they're probably going to sell them $800 to $1,000 a square foot.
The demand is there.
The demand's there. Exactly. I mean, you're talking about some of the older condos in the Star and some other places that are selling for $700,000-800,000.
Yeah. Some brand new condos. Of course, they're going to be, they're going to be luxury for sure.
Yeah. I think this is a huge opportunity.
I can't wait.
No, me too. Tim says, is there any updates on the Olympus project in Claremont? So Tim, actually, I did a video maybe a month ago around like my 5 things I'm most excited about this year. And we showed you some drone footage of the area. So the road is now connected, or not. It's on the way to being connected. You can see there's a 4-lane highway going through, and it's going to be a really awesome way to get from Claremont over to Disney or over in the Horizon West area. Yeah. So I think there's like 7 or 8 neighborhoods that are now under construction. And so right now is a great time because these builders have been playing with this land for the past 2 or 3 years. And now they're like, please come buy a house.
Yeah. It's been tough to get in and out of there too. So it's going to be really nice to have that cut through.
Yeah, I totally agree. So speaking of new construction, let's go talk about Everbe. What do you know about this?
Everbe, whoever their Instagram influencer is, should be paid more because their ads are phenomenal.
They are.
And they're great.
And so we've talked about this on lives past, and this is one of the reasons why I think Everbe is going to be so massively popular. You've got downtown Orlando, not too far away. You've got the 408, 417, and 528. And it's right at the intersection of all of them. It's
a great location.
Yeah. And so they started releasing their first models. And I think that they look pretty fantastic. I'm excited.
And did they give us prices?
So, online it says that they're from the 400s. And so that's another thing is I think that many people, they've been priced out of Lake Nona.
Oh yeah.
And so if they want to be close over to the airport, like over here, or close to downtown, but they can't afford Nona and they don't want to go all the way as far as Meridian Parks.
Right.
Then Everbe is going to be a great option.
I think Sunbridge will be a good option too.
Yeah, agreed. Well, especially once the Osceola Parkway extension goes through, because then you're going to be able to get from 417 down over into Sunbridge way easier than having to go around Narcoossee and all that crazy stuff.
Wow, it's so crazy to see everything changing.
Oh, it's so exciting. So make sure, by the way, if you guys are watching, there's 172 people. Thank you so much. Make sure you give us a thumbs up because it pushes it out, lets other people know about how great Orlando is. And it makes me super happy to see that. Thank you. You just signed with Oasis. Congratulations, my favorite play. That's amazing. Congrats. That's an amazing neighborhood. I'm super stoked. There's a lot of people. I think I need to do a video on Olympus Wellness Way because there's a lot of people.
I'll do it. Don't worry about it.
You'll do it. Okay, you got it covered. Okay, good. Thanks. I appreciate that. All right. So so somebody mentioned that those big high schools sound like a North Texas high school. A lot of the people that move here from Texas talk about, they're like, they got little college campuses over there in Texas. All right, Kristen, what do you want to talk about next?
All right. What are we talking about next? We've got some stuff that's happening in downtown.
Downtown. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So, I'm really excited about this. So it's either the Moderne or the Moderne. Correct me, whoever wants to correct me on the pronunciation of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it just opened in Mills 50. So it's this super, super cute, like Art Deco lounge serving Asian inspired tapas and craft cocktails. And they're in their soft opening right now. So it's limited seating and you're only allowed to stay for a short amount of time, but they're going to be full capacity soon. And it's really, really exciting. It's right on East Colonial Drive.
This is amazing. So you know this area super well and you live down this area. What do you feel like over the past, say, 2 years or 3 years that you've seen things change in the area?
There was nothing for a really long time. I mean, there was a lot of fast food places, but I mean, there's just been this huge burst of like one-off restaurants opening up and bars and speakeasies. And Mills 50 has grown astronomically. I mean, it's just incredible. You could throw a rock and you'd hit some great place to eat. So if you haven't been, take a great date night place and just walk around. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, I totally agree. And so next also from the Bungalow, what's up, Brendan, if you're watching? My man, good to see you. What else is up?
So there's a new cafe, the CityArts Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
It's on Magnolia Avenue and it's in the CityArts Gallery building. So this is just like a really cute little coffee, cold brew, light bites place. So really fun to stop in. And it's actually Javatino coffee.
What is that?
So it's correct me if I'm wrong on this. He's a gentleman who is here. He's a native and he started his own like organic coffee roasting.
Oh, cool.
And so he partnered with CityArts for this concept. And so,
that.
yeah, I love coffee. I love craft coffee.
I love art.
I love art. So why not? Let's go.
Why not? I love all these little coffee shops. I feel like we could have a whole section on the Orlando Reel for little coffee shops that we all check out and love.
I have a map.
Do you really?
I do. I have a map.
Oh, we got to create that for some people. All right. So Nori says, hey, we're planning to move to Claremont, Mineola area in mid 2025. So a couple of years. Do I think that new construction in the area will still take over A year by then. Oh, we're determined when we should start the process. This is a really great question, Nori. So I think there's going to be plenty of new construction in that Claremont Mineola area for the next 10 years. So it's not like you're going to run out of options. Now, yes, I think new construction, even when things weren't crazy, 6 to 8 months was pretty typical on a new construction. Got crazy because of the demand and then COVID and all the supply chain stuff.
It was like over a year.
Yeah, for like a basic house. Yeah. I do see that starting to come down as, windows all of a sudden you can find and block you can find. But I do believe that you should budget at least 8 to 10 months.
I agree.
Yeah. I do think that as we kind of go on though, you're still going to have an opportunity for a spec home as well. So as it gets a little bit closer, if you want to go into some of these builders and say like, hey, I would love to buy a kind of home that's going to be ready in 2, 3, 4 months, there's always that option. And that's something that we can all help you with.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're thinking mid 2025, then really like mid 2024, you should really get serious about narrowing down the area, figuring out the builder you want to work with and help back you into that.
Yeah. Give us a call. We do tours of the new construction communities all the time with our clients.
Yeah, all the time. All right. So what's going on? Kevin from LA.
Hey, Kevin.
Are you moving here from LA? I'm kind of curious. There's a lot of people moving from California, that's for sure. Jerry asks, how much market value and quality of life value do pool cages add? Pool cages aren't really a thing in Texas, and there's not a lot of info on it. Make a video on the subject.
I'm controversial on that. I hate pool cages. I don't like them. I think they keep your pool too cold.
This is true. Okay, so it actually blocks the UV.
Yes.
And so it's not as warm in your pool cage. What are the benefits of it though?
It keeps all the leaves out. It keeps your pool clean. It provides shade so that you have better air quality in your home too. I mean, it keeps the insulation good from the back part of your home to the front part. I mean, so there's a lot of benefits to it. I just personally think that without a pool cage, the water is much more comfortable and it feels more like resort style because resorts don't have pool cages.
Yeah. Aesthetically, I think they don't look awesome. When you're inside, I'm coming from inside the house, you don't really notice it as much, but from the outside looking in, I don't think they look awesome. But if you're somebody that's like, no leaves, no bugs, no nothing.
Oh yeah, no bugs. That's the thing. That's the best part of it.
Yeah, that's why Texas doesn't have them, because they don't have as many bugs as we do.
Good for Texas.
Good for Texas. Sterling says hello from beautiful hilly Mineola. That is like one of the only places in Central Florida that has hills. Is like
they're mountains, right?
Yeah, not exactly. Don't say that. No, all right, but let's moved from Sterling Heights, Michigan, and we bought Lancy Spec Home. That's congrats. Man.
Congrats.
So if Big Orange says, what is Mills 50? If you had to kind of like sum up what Mills 50 is, what do you think? How would you put that?
It's just a strip of downtown Orlando, not right in proper downtown, just a couple blocks over, where a ton of restaurants and shops kind of all just congregated. And it's where the cool kids hang out. Really.
Is that where you hang out?
Yeah, absolutely.
And because I'm not cool, I don't hang out there.
Yeah, so Ken doesn't know.
That's right.
But the variety of food, there's a lot of Asian inspired food. There's, great sushi, there's great barbecue, tacos. I mean, it's just, the variety is so fun. It's really, one of the things people say about Orlando is we do have a lot of variety of food options. Yeah. And Mills 50 is kind of one of our highlights of that.
So let's talk. It's interesting you say that, because I remember when we first moved here, everybody would tell me that it's just big box chain restaurants, and by the theme parks, that's what you get.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, although I do think Universal and Disney have some remarkable inside the restaurants.
Yeah.
But around it, it's Applebee's and Chick-fil-A
Texas
and
Roadhouse.
And so, but the downtown area has all of a sudden flourished with all of these really cool restaurants.
I love it. I mean, they've got like matcha houses now and boba tea places. It's so fun.
It is very fun. All right, let's talk about this one, because this is near and dear to my heart. So this was released, a place to work. Horizon West will soon have a regional park, and this is from the Orange Observer. I'll drop the link in the description after we post this video later today, tomorrow. The regional park. This thing's massive. Talk about it.
Wow. It's humongous. I mean, they're going to have pickleball courts and tennis and bike paths and trails, and they're going to have 2 entryways in and out of the park. It's how many acres?
215 acres.
215 acres. It's going to be great. And it's right next to what's the middle school that it's next to?
Bridgewater Middle. If you guys are watching live or watching the video back here, Bridgewater Middle is on the screen, and it shows the park itself is like 8 or 9 times the size of the entire middle school next to it. So it's going to be massive. So you got like outdoor class park, the dog park, tennis park, potential library, paved parking, grass,
water
trails.
views. I mean, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I think the whole area is going to massively benefit from this. And here's the thing. So many of our new construction houses here have no yard.
Yeah.
And so you're like, where do I take my dog? Where do I play with the kids? Where do I throw a ball? This is where you're going to do it if you live in Horizon West, and it's going to be free. It's already been paid for by the development impact fees. And so it's not something that our taxes are going to go up or our HOAs are going to go up. Yeah. It's just already included, which I think is very
I love
cool.
that this is a priority just says so much about the Horizon West area, that this is such a priority because the families want it.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's a very, you're not supposed to say what's a family friendly community or whatever, but you do see a lot of families in the Horizon West area, I would say. All right. Brightline is finally coming online. This is really loud here. Sorry about that. Introducing Brightline Orlando Station. Why is this a big deal?
Because we need this.
So I think transportation in Orlando is tough.
It's so tough. There's public transportation is rough here. This is just going to be so great to connect everything.
Yeah, I agree. And the fact that you can come from Miami, you can come from Miami up to Orlando International, and then from Orlando International, where's this thing going?
Where does it go? That's a good question.
You're supposed to come to Disney, and then Disney said no. So that's
right. Disney did say no.
But this actually, the look on the interior, the ticketing area, it looks very high end, very like modern, which is fantastic. I think about train station, I think of like very old and like maybe
it looks like an airport.
Correct. Yeah, it's really well done. I think I'm super stoked about this. It goes to Orlando International Terminal C, which is the new one that connects really everywhere else. I think that Orlando International Airport, it's going to be, the airport itself is growing. It's growing.
Right.
People from all over the world, they're making more connections. They're bringing more hubs. I know United is looking to bring one of their hubs here. It's going to be pretty cool. I'm stoked.
Yeah, definitely going to be taking advantage of it.
Yep. What's up, Johnny from Haines City?
Hey, Johnny.
G says, hey, shout out to from Oakland, Florida, right next to Winter Garden. We're planning to buy a house. When would you say is the most cheap month to do it? Wildly enough, this is going to sound totally self-serving, but January is our slow time.
It is.
And so like right now, you're going to see actually at the end of this video, at the end of the podcast here, we're going to be talking about what's going on in the real estate market. That's coming up next. And we're going to talk about, hey, inventory is going up. And so actually, why don't we just go right over to that?
Yeah, let's head into it.
So this is over the past 7 days. I do this on all of our lives. We talk about what's going on in the 5-county area, which is Orange, Osceola, Lake, Polk, and Seminole. And so there's been 934 new listings to hit the market, which is a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Because it was what, like 500-600?
Yeah, 500-600 for months, especially around like Christmas time and that sort of thing. And so when you have less inventory and really not as much demand, there's really just some imminent deals. But when you have 934 homes hit the market and interest rates, well, maybe, I don't know, we'll see what's happened this week. If they come down, there may be more interest. But right now, because there's more inventory, and you can also see price decreases at 1,261.
That's crazy.
It's a huge number. We haven't seen over 1,000 in months, and so to see this kind of pop is interesting. We did see 896 homes go pending, so it almost matches new listings, but it's actually sliding under. So what happens when there's more listings than there are pendings?
Well, that means that we get too many homes that are on the market.
Too many homes on the market, then it leads to price decreases, and then you never know what happens. So right now is a really great time, G Eats, to buy a house because again, there's more inventory.
There's more inventory, more to choose from.
Yeah, which means sellers are going to be more motivated to give you maybe a 2-1 buy down. You can do concessions. There's a lot of things, closing cost stuff.
They'll repair things that are problematic with the home instead of take it as it is.
Exactly. All right, let's see. Editor MHB says, hey guys, I've been debating on purchasing our first home in Serenoma Lake in South Claremont or Oakland Park and Winter Garden. Where do you think will be the biggest appreciation over time? Now, those prices are so all over.
Those are different.
Those are very different. So Oakland Park, you're starting in the 500s and you go up to $1.5 million, depending on if you're on the water. Serenoma Lakes is a little bit more affordable. And so I think that the appreciation play is probably in Serenoma Lakes.
Yeah.
Because you're starting here and then all of a sudden the roads go in and then Wellness Way and the Olympus Project and all of this other stuff happens, which then it allows you to have more appreciation.
Right.
And so buying the lesser priced house in the up and coming area to me makes sense. Although I'm a huge Oakland Park fan.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So Kevin says, I got quoted 8.44 APR today on an investment house, hoping they come down soon. I was gonna say, yeah, investments.
At first I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. Is that a hard money loan? Because
I saw the investment part.
Yeah, they are kind of wild. Kevin, I actually went to apply for a cash out refi on this investment property that we're closing on in a couple of weeks. And they quoted me 7.5. So I would definitely shop around. I've got some lenders we can refer you to. always help out the most that we can.
Absolutely.
Here. All right. What else do we got?
We got somebody from Massachusetts.
Yes, we do. I'm trying to see if we missed any other questions. All right. So I think that is really our show for today. We went over Fifth Gates. We talked about Run Disney. We talked about what's going on here in Orlando, Mills 50, so many other cool things opening up downtown.
Yeah.
This has been kind of a fun, interesting past few months for Orlando.
Yeah, a lot of things are happening. I mean, Disney's shaking things up with all of the changes that are happening as we're leaving the 50th anniversary. We've got tons of new construction happening.
Yep.
I mean, it's really exciting.
It is exciting. I think that regardless of what's going on in the real estate market, that's not something we can control. We can tell the news, we can help people in their situation whenever possible, but like it just kind of is what it is at this point. Right. But living in Orlando continues to be pretty fun.
I love it. Been here my whole life, so
cool.
A perfect Orlandian, right? Perfected.
You're a unicorn because you're like nobody's from Orlando.
I'm from Orlando and I'm so happy to be here. So come live with us.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Thank you guys for watching tonight. Hope you have an amazing weekend. Thanks for joining me, Kristen.
I'm so excited. Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, for sure. All right, you guys.